Boys and Girls Clubs provide thousands of young people with homework assistance, mentoring, and life-changing experiences.
Your support can help. Support your local Boys and Girls Clubs. Great futures start here.
You're watching Fox Sports Detroit.
Coming into Tuesday night's showdown with Michigan State, the Wolverines had played 3 games in 6 days, 5 over the previous 9. No one could blame them if they started slowly. Their legs had to be tired. Instead, the Wolverines played just the opposite, with great energy and great vigor. And like a coach in a football game might do to begin a football game, scripting his first few plays, John Beilein did the same thing for Michigan.
All right, so we're going to start with it's not really a left side entry, it's just a smash with a clear, right? So you're going to end up coming here like a normal smash, but instead of him boxing or circling, he's just going to head out to this other corner. Now Zach, what you got to watch is you turn this corner, this guy starts gapping, Zach could burn him, right? But if he comes in here, then you turn the corner, you got Zach, you got the rim, you got J-Mo coming, and if you have to pull up Timmy, he's going to follow right in behind you, right? So you have all those options.
Hardaway penetrates, a kick out, Novak, a deep 3 on the way, got it. Good start for the co-captain.
Second play, right? We come over to the center side right here, and we're going to run a high ball rocket pistol. We're going to get a 42 at the other end right here. So that if you turn this corner, so high ball, screen right there, hand to Tim, you're coming off here, you got a regular rocket pistol. They're going to move the fence over here because when we end up doing it, the 2 is heading out of there. The 4 is going to go whacking right there. Okay, got it? Stu, you're going to get a screen from Zach. All right, and then finally the right side entry is just going to be a focus to a pistol. So bang, we're trying to get Stu coming off here, shot, get him or get the feet into the post, right? Or he's going to come out and give you a pistol. If it's up here, he's going to give you a bullet, right? He's going to flip it at the end. If it's down in here, he's going to come out and flip it and give you a pistol. Okay? All right, so no confusion there, right? So left side, smash clear, you get the whole thing. Right side, or a high ball. A high ball. Just I'll point to my high ball.
Now Douglas open for the right side for 3. Splash and war! Kearney fouled him. Douglas nailed it, and he looks for a 4-point play. And welcome to this week's edition of Inside Michigan Basketball. The head coach John Beilein now joins us. Do you script the first 3 plays of every game, and why?
Well, most of the time, you know, we don't know how people are going to play us, so we come out and just try to probe a little bit to see how they're going to play. So 3 coaches, those first 3 plays, we are getting a quick diagnosis of how they're going to select to play that game. Then we can formulate a game plan on the bench. You really don't know. How are they going to play the ball screen? How are they going to switch? We sort of draw up some plays that we think can tell us that, and then we try and change from that.
That's what we talk about when we discuss making in-game adjustments, isn't it?
Yeah, it's huge. Lloyd Carr was sitting next to me, as a matter of fact. I said, I don't know how you do it with 11 on 11, but these first 5 minutes are always very interesting, educational for us to determine how we're going to play the rest of the game.
All right, let's take us back to Tuesday night and the excitement. The build-up is one thing, but then when you get in that arena and you feel the energy, the sold-out Chrysler Center really helped your club at times, didn't it?
They were huge, and just especially at the end. I mean, you couldn't hear yourself out there, and of course they're trying to run their play with 35 seconds to go. I think we blew up what they were trying to do. I don't know if we did or not, but they were really having trouble just really communicating. And when Draymond made that drive there, thank goodness, right, that baby didn't go in when we played great defense.
Tim Hardaway struggled with his shot. At least that's how I phrased it after the game on Tuesday night. You kind of disagreed. He started 1 for 6, and yet during big timeouts in that second half, you went to him. Why was that? What was the feeling?
In the timeouts, I have discussions with him. What is his best shot? And how he is going to have higher percentages during a game, and we're trying to teach him that. He's got a great ability to get his own shot, and it also can be a weakness. So we're just working at that. But we like a sleeve of plays that we have for for Tim Hardaway. We chose to use a couple of those. He read them perfectly. I mean, absolutely perfectly. Got us 4 big points when we needed it.
We can talk about the double figures by Trey Burke, Tim Hardaway, and Zach Novak to help your club, but defense won that game against Michigan State, didn't it?
Yeah, Stu Douglas is become such a great. If you would have told me when he first came here that he was going to be a lockdown defender by the time he's a junior or senior, I would say it's not going to happen, right? He's really sees himself as a shooter, and now he's evolved into both a shooter and a ball handler and a lockdown defender. It's probably what he does best, and he's pretty good at the other two.
Zach Novak did a really solid job on Draymond Green, held him below his points per game average, and forced 5 turnovers by their kid.
Yeah, he's a tough kid. I know that if I were a star player and I said, oh, I look around and see number 0 is going to be dogging me all day long, I wouldn't like that. He is a tough kid, and you know he's closing in on 1,000 points, and that's a wonderful thing. It's been his heart and his soul that those 1,000 points we'll miss over time. It's the heart and soul that we'll miss the most.
Trey Burke had 20 points, but let's focus on the 2 blocks. He loves that challenge too, and he's just a freshman.
Yeah, he really is bought into playing defense. What we try to do sometimes, we switch up, we descend it, but when he gets an individual matchup we really like, he wants to stick with that guy, as we saw with Jordan Taylor. He wants to stick with that guy. But at the same time, you know, in our offense, there's many times the guys in the corners are resting while he's out getting, a ball screen. He's on the move offensively. So defensively, for him to play that well defensively after when he's tired is a really sign of a really tough-minded young man.
Coaching 34 years, he knows what he's doing. He told me prior to the game Tuesday night, teams are going to have to make shots with hands in their faces. You got hands in Michigan State's faces late in that ball game. Is a little bit more satisfying sometimes to win the way you did by stopping them on defense.
I think what was really satisfying about this win, it wasn't one that we led the whole way, because they came and took the lead and we saw resilience. It's like a comeback win, even though we led for probably 32, 33 minutes. We led the game. Now all of a sudden they got a 4-point lead on us. We didn't stop. That's what really makes everybody happy right now. We're really happy that we could just get this win. We want to get to the NCAA tournament. We want to get to the top of the Big Ten. And to get there, you usually got to go through Michigan State. It's got an incredible program, incredible coach. I admire the university. I admire Coach Izzo so much. We got a really good win over a tremendous basketball program and university.
Stay with us when we come back. As you can imagine, the emotion was overpouring for Wolverine fans, players, and coaches, especially in the maize and blue locker room. You don't want to miss the aftermath of a thrilling 1-point win over the Spartans on Tuesday night. That's when we return. Inside Michigan Basketball is brought to you in part by Absol Pure Water, delivering quality bottled water since 1908. And by State Farm, for auto, home, life, and banking. Get to a better state. Three to shoot. 2, a leader off the glass. No! Rebound! Michigan! They win it! The Wolverines win it by 1! I know you like hitting big threes, and I know you like hitting big shots, but there's something to be said about wearing that hard hat at the end of a game and winning it on the defensive side, isn't there?
Yeah, I think so. We pride ourselves on that every day in practice, back-to-backs. We just say that's going to win us games, it's going to win us championships, and you know what? We needed it today. This is a win we had to get. Kind of downplayed it going in, but I mean, we knew with our upcoming schedule, this is one we needed to win this one at home, and we got it done.
There was a lot of emotions after the sweep last year. It was feeling good, another step for this program. But if we didn't get a win against them this year, it really wouldn't have meant anything in the rivalry. We wanted to continue that, and that was a huge step for us to continue this streak.
Michigan win tonight, you know, just because of the heart, the toughness, the not getting down on yourself when bad things happen to you, and on that last minute, it showed what Michigan basketball is really all about, and that's grinding it out and getting defensive stops.
That was great. It was all about how you guarded them when we were down 3 or 4. What were we down by 4?
We were down 4.
Down 4. Yeah. We were down, right? Right, Timmy? We called the right number going to you there with that rocket pistol. Got you.
Way to keep your head in the game, bro.
Right? Good check. And we all stayed in there. After you just went through that 5 games in 13 days, some of you have missed some open jump shots, a little spring out of your legs. We don't have that anymore. Now we always have a normal schedule where we will have rest days every 7 days. We won't have to go through that again. But you got out of that baby 3-2. You protected home turf, right, the whole time. And damn it, you almost won in Indiana, right, out of that whole dang schedule you just had. So we take a breather tomorrow. We move on with out of conference. We're going to Fayetteville, Arkansas, man, to play 40 minutes of hell. 40 minutes of hell they're trying to get.
The fastest 40 minutes.
The fastest 40 minutes. Well, we will see whether that happens. But in the meantime, this was such a great team effort by us today.
Once they went up, you know, it was like the first time I've ever saw us. You know, we really didn't get down on each other. You know, we just knew that we've been fighting this hard for the whole game. That, you know, we knew we was gonna come out with the win. And Coach Bow says the definition of a good team is a team that can get stops, you know, when they need it most. And that's what we did tonight.
I'm really proud of you. Really proud to be a coach. Really proud of our coaching staff and all our people here that work so hard. And you know, to us, it's part of the thing to get to a Big Ten championship. There are literally hundreds of thousands of people that die for this game every year. You made them all happy, very, very happy, right, of all the maize and blue, all over, everywhere. So great job. How do we play? Hard. How do we play? Smarter. Michigan. Tough. 1, 2, 3. Big Ten champs.
We're the most happy for them, you know, they're seniors, and I'm just so happy right now, you know, just being able to run out there on the court after the game, you know, with that win, and seeing how happy Zach and Stu are right now. It's just, this is a dream come true.
So you notice who led the victors there: Zach Novak, Stu Douglas, the 2 co-captains, and seniors, and Corey Person. Was that intentional? Why did you have them lead the victors?
Well, I really felt that they know what it takes to win in the Big Ten, and they know you got to go through Michigan State. You got to do that in order to be the top. I mean, last year we got a bye. Why? Because we beat Michigan State. And so they know they had to do that. Really, the young kids are just looking at this game a little bit differently than the older guys. I wanted to really make sure, because Corey's a big part of this. Corey plays lockdown defense like that Tim Hardaway. He guards Tim every day. He's making Tim a better player every day. All 3 of those are a big part of this.
I know you love all your kids, but when you see that locker room like that, where they're sharing the hugs and they're smacking 5 on one another, and it happens after victories, I get that. And they're there to console one another after losses. But when you see that type of emotion, how do you feel about it? Do you just step back once in a while and soak it all up?
I wish I could. I wish I could just, you know, take myself and step away and just watch it when I'm not there. But I can't do that. I mean, I'm in the moment. You're there. I will really miss those things one day, because that's, you know, you coach for. You don't coach for the win. You don't coach for the trophy. You don't coach for the. You coach for the relationships and watching young men have fun together like they did today. That's what this thing is about, of just letting young men experience things they never could without teamwork and hard work. Now that takes them into the rest of their world. So I just wish I could sit there and just look at all their faces. Unfortunately, I got to talk with a lot of people, including you and a lot of people, and we just keep moving. But special day for a lot of those kids in that locker room.
So Michigan has to shift gears now. After playing their in-state rival, they go out of conference to the SEC to take on Arkansas and get ready for what they can call 40 minutes of hell. That story is next. On the left side, Arana Smatra's screen. Step back, deep 3, on the way. Oh, it was halfway down.
I thought it went in and then it came right out. So, I mean, just a couple inches here and there, but you know, it could have been any play before that in the beginning of the game. We gave up some easy ones. Those were a turning point in the game. So we just got to look back into the game, and then we wouldn't be able to deal with that last shot.
Defensively, you know, I thought in the second half, switching up those zones, I got to give our coach credit. They did a good job with that. This wasn't enough, though.
How does this help you ready for Purdue?
I mean, it's going to be the same type of environment, same type of team. So we just got to learn from it, learn to be better poised, and we can get any shot we want to. Just because the team is pressuring us doesn't mean that we have to lose control. Just stay poised and we can get easy baskets.
One of our goals is to get that Big Ten championship, and this is a great test for us going into Purdue because they do the same type of defense as this team does, and it's a great test for us.
Well, this was kind of a tale of two halves for you, especially defensively. What did you guys do better in the second half than they did in the first?
Well, with them, their offense is their defense is their offense. So it was hard to defend them. This is the quickest team we'll play all year long. I mean, they're not as long as Memphis, but they're quicker than Memphis. And it was very difficult for us to just get in front of them and their momentum. I think they made the first 9 shots. Some of them were tough makes, some of them weren't. But the ball bounced their way a little bit in that first half. Second half, we played much better, and we were able to get the game down to our momentum again.
After each game, you and your coaching staff gets together. You talk about the negatives, you talk about the positives. You go in there, you accentuate the positives to your club. You guys played with a lot of heart. It's something that you can take from this game, right? You
know, courage is a very strong word to use, and I think we showed a lot of that today. We were very tired. We were banged up. It was a pace with just the depth that we're working on every day in practice now, trying to get more depth, but I don't feel they're ready in some of these games to do that. So we're using the media timeouts. It's just really hard to get them to play at the highest level we want them to. But you know what? They keep playing no matter what. They're a toughie. They don't give in to fatigue, but sometimes fatigue may affect some of their decisions.
You bring up practice on Friday's practice, and then in the film session when you reached Fayetteville, you stressed to Jordan Morgan, let's be that first big guy down. Let's run the floor. Don't worry about a foul that wasn't called or a miss. Let's run down the floor and make a difference, and he sure made a difference today.
Yeah, many times when guys don't get run up the floor, they got other things. They're not focused. It's the next play now. Yeah, the man scored on me, or I didn't miss that other one. He is a tremendous athlete. I mean, he can run this court with any of our guards. He's just got to want to. He did tonight. It was tremendous.
First time that there was a sellout in this building since 2009, 52 games. Your team wasn't intimidated at all, even though you started slow, because you've played in bigger Big Ten barns, or as loud Big Ten barns. That had to help your club a little bit adjust.
Yeah, it's a heck of a place to play, and I commend Arkansas. They really got a nice team, and they're doing some great things here. They get really great young talent. But the crowd was loud. It was great. It's not any different than any Big Ten games. I was really pleased with the way our guys reacted in most circumstances.
Thanks, Coach.
All right, thanks, Matt.
Inside Michigan Basketball is brought to you in part by AT&T. When you can go faster, you are free to do more. AT&T. Get it faster with 4G. Rethink possible. And by the University of Michigan Health System and UofMHealth.org. At a place of extraordinary medicine, what you see is how amazing life can be. Has the story.
Michigan was going for back-to-back conference wins for the first time this year on Thursday. And after a slow start against the Wildcats, the Wolverines took control with a 13-0 run late in the first half. The Wolverine defense forced Northwestern into 26 turnovers, and no less than 8 different U of M players nailed three-pointers as Michigan hung on for the 58-48 road win. On Sunday, the Wolverines returned home against the Hoosiers, and Michigan came out flying out of the gates, shooting 52% in the first half. The offensive clinic saw the Wolverines take a commanding 42-19 halftime lead. It was more of the same in the second, as the Maize and Blue lead ballooned to as many as 28. Michigan walked away with a 66-48 victory as the team improved to 5-2 in the Big Ten, tied for third in the conference. Much of the credit to the Wolverines' 16-4 start can go to their bench. They've been so successful, in fact, that they've developed an identity of their own.
Yeah, we're the hype team because we, cheer for the starters, and anyone who's playing, you know, just positive energy, jumping up when we score and high-fiving each other.
The hype team does a lot more than just cheerlead. Once the Wolverine reserves hit the floor, they do damage. Led by super sub Kate Thompson, the Michigan bench has outscored opposing reserves in 15 of the team's first 20 games.
Lob ahead to Thompson. Right wing fires the three, and it's through.
We're definitely expected to come in and make defensive plays. We're not there to kind of score right away. That's what Coach Borseth wants us to do, is just get stops and just kind of play our role and just kind of feed him wherever we can.
Cito driving against Hines, fall away off the glass with the right hand and in.
After the coaching staff took notice of the Wolverine bench at the Maryland game earlier this year, the hype team even got its own mascot. Well, sort of.
And every single shot, like even if we missed it, the whole bench was standing up cheering. So our coaches put together like a little bag of Jolly Ranchers to like show how tough we are, because they're hard candy, and that it was cute.
You know, attitude is a big thing when you're coming off the bench. You got to know what your role is and go out there and, you know what the game, what we're doing defensively and offensively, and I think that's what's important.
Free throw line Cito, baseline right Arnold, 10-footer up and in.
U of M is hoping the hype team will help the Wolverines get a taste of the NCAAs this year. That would be even sweeter than their favorite hard candy.
Watermelon. That's my favorite. Not the cinnamon fire. Nobody likes those.
For Inside Michigan Basketball, I'm Anthony Polidano.
Anthony, thanks. Now Kevin Borseth and the Wolverines focus on the revenge game. Penn State comes to calling at Chrysler Center Thursday night, the same Nittany Lions club that beat the Wolverines earlier this year by 15. Thanks for joining us on Inside Michigan Basketball. We invite you back next week. We'll recap the men's games on the road, Purdue and Ohio State, and of course more action from the women's contest as well. Until then, I'm Matt Shepard saying so long, and M Go Blue. Michigan was gunning for its second consecutive Big Ten road game here in Columbus. Unfortunately, the Wolverines fell short, and we'll get to that a little bit later on. Welcome to Inside Michigan Basketball.